If I was in a market for a woman and I was a young man, what would I look for? I don't think it's well, I know it's not the things that I looked for as a young man, uh, because I'm far more mature than that now. Um, the first thing I would look for is not religion. The first thing I would look for is a scar. What does that mean? Everybody needs a scar. Everybody needs a scar. Um, I would get, like, let me give you an example. You don't want a girl who was raised by a daddy who's never allowed her to go through anything. Graduating from college don't mean she went through anything. That just means she was put in a blender. You want a woman who struggled. Because real life, look at right now. Okay, look at the president you have right now. Believe it or not, the United States in 5 years is going to be a third world country. I'm telling you. What's actually happening right now is they're adjusting you to what's about to, and it's not going to change. So if you got a woman that's used to all this unrealistic stuff, when she doesn't recognize the truth that 1% it can actually afford all that shit. And a lot of them are pushing it right now. If you don't have a woman that can struggle a little bit and being pretentious and showing out is a little more than uh, just a cavalier thing for her every once in a while. The second thing is, again, she got to have a scar. The second thing is, you want a woman with character, not a Christian. You want a woman with character, not Islam. Let me tell you an insensitive truth. If you can go to work, and most of us do, we'll run a company and never have a violation. In other words, you don't steal anything, you don't rob anybody, you don't cheat anybody out of anything, then you can do it in a relationship. Okay? My point is, a religion is not going to keep a dick out your woman. If she loves her emotions more than she loves character, she's not your woman. I remember there was always little aspects of every woman that's ever screwed me over that I saw on the first date. If you listening, you'll see them. Okay? Character is the most important thing in anybody. Character cannot be arrived at without struggle. So you want a woman who has had a scar, who's gone through something and learned from it. That's what a scar is. Something they can look at and say, damn, okay, I remember that. I learned from this. So if I ever have to go through it again, I know what to do. I know how to be. If you have a woman that if every little thing pop up, they start calling their old boyfriend, they start leave her or don't continue with her. But you want a woman with a scar and a woman that has character. Fuck all that church shit and all that. That don't mean a motherfucking thing. And they know it. That's. I'm not gonna say that is a game, but that's a game that they found loopholes in. So me included, uh, for years, men have saved women from their own consequences. And men say that women don't want to be accountable. It has nothing to do with accountability. Who would ever be accountable when there's always somebody to save them from their consequences? Women make some of the stupidest decisions, and at this juncture right now in time, women literally just live their lives without any morality, character, or belief systems. You think about this. When you look at Muslim women, Christian women, or whatever, what is the separation between someone who calls themselves part of a global belief system and someone who doesn't? You can't tell the difference. And in all honesty, in their actions do. They give up pussy like they got two of them. But here's the real issue. Men have been saving women from consequences since the beginning of time. And the only control that women have ever had throughout history was their vagina. So I understand their dilemma for a moment. But at some point, when you fail to realize that your life has to have barriers, then you step into a identity called narcissism. And that narcissism makes you believe you are God. I can get whatever I want. That's why women destroy men's lives and then laugh. The only person that does something like that is somebody that's sadistic. So here's the thing. Let's normalize saving women for their own stupid ass decisions and let the consequences eat their motherfucking asses up. You have to base a relationship on what's going to last. Do I like you? Am I attracted to you? Are you funny? Can I just sit with you and not do a fucking thing? Things like that are real, that are lasting. But don't ever chase anybody. If they like you, you'll... I'm gonna tell you something, guys out there. You're not my age yet, a lot of y'all. But some of y'all are. I got a lot of followers that are my age. When you're my age, it's not so much about the age as it is maturity. And you make your life smaller. You know, I used to live in a huge fucking house. And I still own it. But I lease it out to somebody that need to live like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? But here's what you need to guard yourself, guys, when it comes to your woman. A woman is emotional. So what does that mean? She invites shit in her life, and sometimes she don't know how to stop. And if you don't control what your woman inviting y'all life, it's gonna drive both of y'all down. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it's a puppy, her family, whatever. Control what you let in your life, because the older you get, you want to minimize or shrink your life where you can control it and have peace. Good morning. It's something that I want to talk about that I had a discussion with one of my mentees yesterday. For those of you who don't know, I have a very extensive, detailed mentoring program that I have that was thrust upon me by the TikTok community, and it's become a professional endeavor. But in any event, he and I were talking about the heart, okay? And for years and through a lot of female relationships and human relationships, we find out that the heart is the main storage place. It's not the, what we call the brain, which is essentially a facilitator for information, a difference engine, as it were, for the will. And the will is owned completely by you. There is no other owner of the will. So we started talking about religion, and most of you guys know that I don't believe in religion. I believe in my relationship with God and the evolution of my life through the direction of the Holy Spirit. I've always believed in that. And so I asked him, I said, when you go before the church, what do they ask you to do? To let Christ in your heart. Okay. I said, and then most of you read my book. You understand I talk a lot about circular reasoning, like a lot. Circular reasoning is the most powerful concept and strategic tool used by colonizers and people in general. It's integrated into everything in processes and systems and everything in the world. It is the thing that doesn't allow you to critically think about a specific thing that's supposed to direct you or magnetize you or draw you to almost even submit your life to it. So he was asking, Why do people submit their lives to a belief system or a book? I said it's because, not just circular reasoning, it's because you allow things in your heart. You know, the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Now, I thought about that perspective one way when I was involved in religion, but I think about it, and even though that perspective is true, okay, but what it was isolating to me, it isolated my critical thinking. It made me think all that means is anything of the world. So in other words, as long as I allow Jesus and the Bible information in my heart, I'm good. Everything else needs to be out. Well, that's absolutely ridiculous. Okay? And that's a control mechanism to get you to do what you want to do. I've made this statement before, and it's in my second book. It's a metaphor that says if I'm walking down a road, and I've been put on that road since I was a child, right? And I was told on that road to fear both sides of the road. In other words, if I step off this road outside of a gas station, Burger King, along the road that I'm going, then guess what? I'm going to die. Okay? What am I going to do? What am I really doing? One thing I'm really doing, obviously, you know, you heard that I'm committing fear to people, but also the most important part of that, strategically, I know where you are. Because I put all the gas stations, all the Burger Kings, all the sites along that same road. All religion is a road to walk on where people know where you are. What does that mean? They know where your heart is. They know where your thought process is. They know where you're going to spend your money. They know all that. So when you say, even those who are trying to get away from religion and just serve God, why can't I get away from this? Why am I still? Because you let it in your heart. So I told him, be careful what and who you let in your heart. That's why you can't let people in your heart based on feelings. You have to let people in your heart based on principles, because principles are more believable. And some of you, I don't want to struggle. You'll never really know anyone until you've been through something with them. Some of you are married to people that you've never struggled with. And here's the example. Whether you believe it or not with this president, it has nothing to do with this president. It has to do with the entire concept and conceptualism of the United Westernism. That's what I'm going to call it. It's gone. And some of you are still working every day like it's not. Some of you are still partying every day like it's not. For years, these theorists and all these people have been telling us that, and look, for 30 years, I've known this was coming. 30 years. Listen, your life is about to change. And no matter who you're with, even if you're alone, you're about to struggle. Okay? You're going to really see who people are when this happens. I'm telling you. So I don't like struggle love and all that. Okay. All them cats y'all with that got the facade y'all like that's making money, all that shit about to change. Because the Westerner that stands behind that person, whether they're a politician, whether they're a businessman or whatever, about to walk away from them. It's already happening. People are being fired from the job, high-level jobs, and they're not talking a lot about it. But let me go back to my point. Make sure you put the right person in your heart, okay? Because that's the person that's going to lead you. All right, have a good day.